Today I wanted to introduce a series on legendary Hammond B3 organ. And to really understand the Hammond B3, you must really understand the history of the Hammond organ itself. Hammond organs were first made in the 1930s, and the first model that the Hammond company ever made was the Model A. And there were a whole bunch of iterations after that. There was the AB and the BC, and I think they had the B2 and the C2. But eventually came the B3, which was the most popular organ that they ever made. And it was popular in many different fields, and just everybody loves the Hammond B3 organ because it's super cool. And unfortunately, organs just like this are not made. This organ, as well as almost all of Hammond's previous models, were all mechanical inside. Today, many companies make digital versions and reproductions of the Hammond B3 drawbar organs, but they're not mechanical. And the way these organs work is there's actually a series of tone wheels inside that have an electromagnetic pickup next to them, and they create the tones that you can alter with the drawbars and that play when you play the notes. It's basically mechanical wizardry. It's absolutely wild. And the technology for that was actually created in the 1890s, believe it or not, with an instrument called the telharmonium. It had a similar mechanism with tone wheels that generated sound, and Hammond improved upon that technology by using amplifiers, and it became the Hammond B3, basically. So I wanted to do a video introducing you to the Hammond B3, showing you how to open it up and get it started, and taking you through a quick tour of the controls and what they do. So let's get started by opening up the Hammond B3. First off, what you're going to want to do, it's a little more complicated than opening up a piano. You open this, and then you do that. And actually, I said it was a bit more complicated than a piano, but it's actually pretty simple. The piano lid is very heavy. This is not heavy at all. And then, of course, you have your music disc, which opens up just like so. And then you have the Hammond B3 controls opened up to you. And so now I'm going to show you how to turn it on, because it's a little bit unusual, and if you're not familiar with the Hammond B3, you will look at it and go, I have no idea what to do. So let's show you how to do that. So here we are off to the right-hand side of the organ, where you will find the power switch. There is a start switch here, and there is a run switch here. And right below here in really small text, it says turn on and run after start is on. So basically what you do is you hold the start button forwards for about 10 to 15 seconds, and you can hear the start motor spooling up the tone wheels. And then after about 10 to 15 seconds, when the sound becomes very even, you will then turn on the run switch and hold the start on for a little bit while the Leslie spools up and the tone wheels do some other stuff. And then after a while, you can let go of the start switch and the organ can be playable. So let's do that here. We turn it on and you'll hear the tone wheels doing things. You hear them spooling up. And now the sound is consistent and it's not changing anymore. So you wait a little bit, and then you do the run switch. You'll hear it change. You continue holding the start switch, and now you can probably let go of it. Now the Hammond organ, as well as the Leslie speaker component, have tubes inside of them, and so therefore the organ takes a little bit of time to turn on, but it's not that long. We're already up and running. So now I'm going to take you through a tour of the controls on the Hammond B3 and what they do. Of course, the thing you're probably wondering about most is what do the drawbars do, and we'll get to that. And but basically, you have, starting off over on the left here, you have your preset keys for the upper manual and for the lower manual. And so basically the way this works is the low C is a cancel. So if you have a preset pushed down and you hit the C, the presets will all go away, and then you can select a new one. And it's the same thing down here. I have the B flat preset here set. If I push the C, it will pop up and I can choose another one. You can also just choose presets directly, from one to another. The way these work is your B flat preset and your B preset control the drawbars for the lower manual. So this B flat preset controls this set of drawbars up here, which applies to the lower manual. The B preset applies to this set of drawbars, which also works for the lower manual. And you can't use them both at the same time, but what you can do is you can have two different custom drawbar presets, and you can flip back and forth between them. This one here that I have it on now is just a simple bass preset, and this one here is similar, but it's got more higher end to it. So it sounds a little bit cooler. And then these ones here are presets that are actually hardwired into the organ's cabinet inside. There's a whole like preset bar that you can actually go in there and customize if you wanted to, but these here are all various presets made to sound originally like different functions of a pipe organ, which is what the Hammond B3 and the other organs were originally intended to emulate. Now you have the same setup up here. I'm not going to go through all the presets, but it works the same here for the upper manual. Your B-flat preset controls this set of drawbars, and your B preset controls this set of drawbars. And that sounds like this, and also like this. There's a couple unique things over here as well. You have a volume control, and it says soft and normal, and that does exactly what you'd think it does. It gives you a volume boost. So I normally have it on soft because that's plenty loud enough for me. But if I wanted it to be louder, it's louder now. And so that's very simple. You also have a vibrato swell, which is your upper manual, and vibrato grate, which is your lower manual, as well as the pedals. And so what that does is it simply activates vibrato. Sounds really cool, and then also for the lower manual. And it's very simple. So then you have a knob here that says vibrato and chorus, and this actually allows you to choose between different levels of vibrato and chorus. Right now it's actually set to chorus, which kind of gives you a vibrato sound and also a chorusy sound, which is multiple sounds slightly detuned from each other all playing at once, and it makes it sound really full. There's also, so I have it set to the C3 setting, which is the most popular one that everyone loves. You also have V1, which is just vibrato, C1, which is chorus, V2, which is more intense vibrato, then that would be C2, which is more intense chorus, and then you have V3, which is a really intense, goofy sounding vibrato, and then you have back to C3, which is everybody's favorite. And I think that's about it for this end of the organ. Over here we have percussion controls. And the percussion controls only work with the B preset here on the upper manual. And what this does is, I'm going to turn off the thing here and let you hear it. It basically gives a percussive attack to the beginning of each note. And it's, you can, if you hold one note down, it doesn't work on the others, but you can do it on each note individually. So if you're holding one note down, the percussion won't be going, but if you play each note individually, it will work. And there's a few different settings over here. You can turn it off, and then it does nothing. There's percussion volume, which is soft and normal. So same as the volume switch over there. You have percussion delay, fast and slow. I have it on slow, but this is what fast sounds like. And then you also have percussion harmonic selector as second or third. And what that does is, when you have it on second, it's actually playing a percussive attack 1 octave higher than the note that you're playing. But when you have it on third, it's actually playing it an octave and a fifth higher. So this note is actually going to be a G, even though I'm playing a C. And when you have it on third and you have some drawbars pulled out, it sounds really cool. Very subtle, but you can hear it and it does make a difference, and it's really cool. So now let's talk about the thing that everybody here is most likely wondering. What do the drawbars do? And basically they work off of the harmonic series. And so for a single note, here I'm working with the lower manual drawbars. You have your fundamental tone, which is here. Actually, this is your sub-fundamental. Then you have your sub-third harmonic. Then you have your fundamental harmonic. Then you have your second harmonic, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then it actually skips the seventh harmonic, which is the eighth. And so here's what it all sounds like with everything pulled out. And it sounds just like a note. But if you actually remove everything and slowly pull them out, you will hear that they are indeed the harmonic series. Here's your sub, your third, your fundamental, which is a really cool cool effect to actually pull those out in the middle of the song and just bring in a whole dimension to the music. And altogether it sounds like a note, but it's really interesting that it's actually a whole bunch of different notes being played all at one time. And that is the secret to the Hammond organ sound. The white drawbars here are as well as the sub, are the consonant ones. These ones are all octaves of each other and they all sound really good, as you can hear. But if you take those away and you pull out the other ones, these ones actually sound really dissonant and weird with each other. And so if you add some of those in when you have some of these pulled in, then you can get a really cool sound. And altogether it sounds really awesome. And that is how the drawbars work for all 4 of the drawbar areas. You have the one for the B flat preset on the upper, you have the B preset on the upper, then you have the B flat preset on the lower, and the B preset on the lower. And this one here is actually for the pedals, and it works the same way for the pedals. You have your sub, and then you have your fundamental. And it's very simple. So that is a tour of the Hammond B3 organ. There's actually one thing I forgot, and that is the controls for the Leslie speaker. And what the Leslie speaker does is it has a rotating cone in the top part of the speaker that plays your notes here. And when you let me get something you can actually hear. When you activate it, it spins that cone and sounds like that, which is really fantastic. There's a few different iterations of this and they look slightly different, but they all do the same exact thing. You have your slow speed on the left and your fast speed on the right, and you activate it, it spools up that cone and it makes the sound have that traditional Hammond organ sound. The funny thing is that the actual creator of the Hammond organ, he absolutely hated the Leslie speaker, and he actually designed the organs to make them Leslie proof, but the designer of the Leslie organ quickly found a workaround around that because everyone loves the Leslie speaker, and the original Hammond tone cabinets, a lot of people really prefer the Leslie speaker over the original tone cabinets. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative and helpful, and if you did, you can check out some of my other content and maybe even think about subscribing. And if you subscribe, thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.